Welcome to Grateful Gwen's Goodreads. Today, we are exploring some books about the great state of Michigan in the United States of America. What do they say, when in Rome? Only in this case, it's when in Michigan. We have M is for mitten, and our Michigan, we love the seasons. So M is for Michigan, a Michigan alphabet, written by Annie Appleford, poems by Kathy Jo Wargan, and illustrated by Michael Glenn Monroe. It's going to be a little tricky turning the pages with gloves on, but they're fingerless, so it should be okay, hopefully. A is for the apple blossom. Frilly as can be, it dances in the springtime breeze upon the apple tree. The apple blossom is the state flower of Michigan. In late spring, this delicate flower blossoms with 5 pink and white petals. B is for a great big bridge. That's called the Mighty Mac. Whichever side you may be on, you can drive across and back. The Mackinac Bridge connects the upper and lower peninsulas of Michigan. It spans 5 miles over an area of water known as the Straits of Mackinac, which is where Lake Michigan and Lake Huron meet. One of the longest suspension bridges in the world, taking over 3 years to build, the Mighty Mac opened to traffic in 1957. Before that, people traveled back and forth by boat. The brook trout is a small, colorful fish. It likes to swim in shallow lakes and streams. It is the state fish of Michigan and has red, green, and blue spots on its sides. So B is for big bridge to Mackinac Island, and B is for brook trout. And C is for cherry. Now C is for cherry. Little sweet ones fill my belly. Tart ones make me pucker, so they're used in jam and jelly. Do you see anything else on this page that begins with the letter C? I see a chipmunk. D is for Detroit. It's called the Motor City, where cars roll out of factories so bright and new and pretty. Detroit is the largest city in our state. It was founded in 1701 by Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac and was first called Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit, known as the automobile capital of the world. Detroit is home to General Motors, Ford, and Daimler Chrysler. It was the first city in the world to pave a mile of concrete road and to install a traffic light. But Detroit is famous for more than just cars. It was also the birthplace of a record company called Motown. Yes, love me some Motown music, where many famous singers got their start. Did you know Detroit is the French word for strait, meaning a narrow passage of water connecting 2 larger bodies of water? Detroit. Okay, let's find out what E is for. Eastern white pine starts with E. A tree so tall and straight, cut for timber long ago, all throughout our state. We've had fun from A to E. What is next? Look and see. The eastern white pine, Michigan state tree, is very tall and straight, making it a good choice for timber. Michigan was filled with white pine when the first European settlers came, and soon these and other newcomers began to harvest the trees in the era of the 1800s called the Big Cut. In the 1870s, enough eastern white pine was cut that if placed end to end, it would have made a path from Michigan to the moon. F is for Gerald R. Ford. F stands for Gerald R. Ford. He was president long ago. He is a very special man from Michigan. Did you know? Gerald Ford, who grew up in Grand Rapids, was the 38th president of the United States of America. Before that, he was a University of Michigan football star. Served on a World War II aircraft carrier and represented Michigan in Congress for 24 years. G is for our Great Lakes, with water fresh and clear. To see a state that's edged in blue, just take a good look here. Michigan is full of wonder, and now you can see why. Let's turn the page and take a peek at all the letters H and I. Michigan is known as the Great Lakes state. It is bordered by four of the 5 Great Lakes, which are the greatest supply of fresh water in the world. To help you remember all 5 of the Great Lakes, think of the word HOMES, which stands for Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. HOMES. H is for the harbors, filled with boats and lights and docks. Some are soft and sandy, and some are filled with rocks. I is for the islands. There are many to be found, a piece of land that's big or small with water all around. H. Boaters use lighthouses to safely navigate around shallow or rocky areas and into harbors. Michigan has more lighthouses and more registered boats than any other state. Michigan has hundreds of islands, Beaver, Drummond, Grand, and Mackinac, to name a few. The largest is Isle Royale in Lake Superior, which is the northernmost point of the state. The beautiful Isle Royale greenstone is our state gem. J. Jiffy. Produced in Chelsea, Jiffy was the world's first prepared baking mix. Mrs. Marble White Holmes came up with the idea to produce a foolproof baking mix so anyone could bake homemade quality biscuits and muffins quickly. And the letter K is for Kellogg. They make breakfast good to eat. Crunch, crunch, mmm. The Kellogg Company has made Battle Creek the cereal capital of the world. The Kellogg brothers accidentally discovered the process for producing flaked cereal products in their search for healthy foods and sparked the beginning of the dry cereal industry. L. Lansing starts with the letter L. It's the capital of our state. Here, the rules and laws are made that make Michigan so great. In the 1600s, Sault Ste. Marie was an important area for trade, and as the first European settlement, it was the region's first capital. In 1805, Detroit became the capital of the Michigan Territory. Michigan became a state on January 26, 1837, and Detroit remained the capital for another 10 years. Then, in 1847, after much debate, Lansing was awarded the honor of being the state capital of Michigan. Now we have a special letter I'm sure you'll understand. M is for mitten, the shape of our land. To see Lower Michigan, just hold up your hand. The Lower Peninsula of Michigan is shaped like a mitten. Its unique shape, which is almost entirely surrounded by water, is due to the movement of glaciers, which carved gigantic lake basins, then melted to fill them thousands of years ago. N is for the native people, paddling in the north, and for the northern lights flashing back and forth. The word Anishinaabe means the first people of the land. Native people have lived here for thousands of years, and some of their inventions include the toboggan, the snowshoe, and the birch bark canoe. Michigan's Anishinaabe are known as the Three Fires people: the Chippewa, Ojibwa, Ottawa, Odawa, and Potawatomi, Bodowadomi. Whew, that's a mouthful for me, but I tried. O is for the ore boats that cross our lakes with pride. They carry precarious cargo to and from the ocean wide. Ore boats, some over 3 football fields long, carry iron ore, copper, gravel, gypsum, coal, salt, and limestone from Michigan's mines to the industrial cities of the Midwestern United States and throughout the world. P is for Petoskey stone and is the official state stone of Michigan. It is a fossil from before the age of the dinosaurs and is only found in Michigan. Petoskey stones look like ordinary stones when they are dry, but when they are wet, you can see their grayish honeycomb pattern. Some people like to find these stones and polish them to a smooth, shiny, brownish gray color. Did you know the painted turtle is our state reptile? P will stand for painted turtle, floating out of reach, and also for the Petoskey stone hiding on the beach. Q is for quadricycle. Rumbling near and far, with just 4 wheels and 1 small seat, it was Henry Ford's first car. Henry Ford's first gas-powered automobile was named the quadricycle. He built the engine in his kitchen and completed the quadricycle in a small shed. To get his 1896 invention out of the shed, he had to knock down a wall because it would not fit through the door. R is for the robin with red upon her breast, singing in the springtime to the babies in her nest. The red-breasted robin is our state bird. Its song goes, tweet, toot, toot, toot. S. Sand dunes are beautiful mounds of wind-blown sand. Living among the dunes are grasses, plants, trees, and the threatened dwarf lake iris, our state wildflower. The western shore of Michigan has many dunes, including the Sleeping Bear Dunes, which rise 460 feet above Lake Michigan. Now S is for our sand dunes, drifting near the shore. When the wind begins to blow, they change their shapes once more. T is for Tahquamenon. Begins with 2 waterfalls on a river. The water rushes by so fast it almost makes us quiver. Ooh, what a sight! Falling, falling with all of its might. Michigan has over 150 waterfalls, most of which are in the Upper Peninsula. Tahquamenon Falls is the largest and most recognized of these and has 2 waterfalls. The upper falls drop nearly 50 feet and are more than 200 feet wide, while the lower falls have an island in the middle and 5 separate cascades on each side. The water gets its rich copper color from the decaying vegetation and nearby swamps, also known as the Root Beer Falls because the brown water looks like root beer. U, Upper Peninsula, begins with U. Rugged beauty for all to see. Lakes and rivers, ponds and streams are part of the great UP. The Upper Peninsula is renowned for its natural beauty of mountains, rivers, lakes, forests, and wildlife. It is also rich in resources, particularly copper, iron ore, and timber. Can you see the shape of a running rabbit when you look at the Upper Peninsula? V. Vernors is a soda pop that starts with the letter V. The first one made in the USA. It's as tasty as can be. Fizz fizz. Vernors Ginger Ale. Vernors, created in Detroit, was the first soda pop made in the United States. In 1862, pharmacist James Verner was trying to make a new drink when he was called to serve our country in the Civil War. He left his secret concoction in an oak cask. When he returned home 4 years later, he discovered that his drink had acquired a delicious gingery flavor, and the rest is pop history. Make a cool, refreshing treat by mixing Vernors with ice cream, a ginger ale float. W is for white-tailed deer. There are lots of those around here, as well as wolverine. Wherever you are in Michigan, there's wildlife to be seen. Michigan is nicknamed the Wolverine State and is a wonderful Wonderland, is a wonderland full of winter adventures such as skiing and snowshoeing. The white-tailed deer is the state mammal and is a graceful creature of the forest. Did you know deer shed their antlers each year? X marks the spot where the ships have met their fate. Deep beneath the water, sunken boats and treasure wait. Thousands of ships have crashed or sunk in the waters that border Michigan. Two of the most noted are the Griffin, which sank on its maiden voyage in 1679, and the Edmund Fitzgerald, a huge ore boat that sank in 1975 and was later immortalized in the song, The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. The Chicago to Mackinac Yacht Race is the oldest and longest freshwater yacht race in the world. Sailors have been challenging the unpredictable waters of Lake Michigan since the first race in 1898. Y is for the many yachts that race along the lake. Some are slow and quiet, some leave a great big wake. Z is for the Detroit Zoo. It's fun as can be. Now you've discovered Michigan from the letters A to Z. The Detroit Zoo was the first zoo in America to feature cageless, open exhibits that allow the animals more freedom to roam. The famous Bear Hill was the first exhibit of this type, and today it remains a favorite among children of all ages. One more back page to share with you. A mitten full of facts, a bunch of trivia questions, of more fun facts about the state of Michigan, and then a lot of other alphabet books about other places too to enjoy. Our Michigan, We Love the Seasons, illustrated by Gilbert Van Frankenhuizen. Spring in Michigan. Spring in Michigan is walking near a pond and listening to the frogs croaking. Who is that standing near the water? Playing tag in a birch glen. Are fairies hiding among the trees? Running through meadows, picking flowers for daisy chains. Let's see who is the fastest. Summer in Michigan is curling our toes in the sand as waves roar in. Let's collect pretty rocks and shells. Riding the ferry boat as it bobs up and down in the bright blue waves. Can you hear the gull caw? Counting the stars in the sky as the lighthouse beams its light. Starlight, star bright, who saw the first star tonight? Autumn in Michigan is hiking in fields as birds fly through the sky. How many can you count? Racing through golden woods, hearing dry leaves scrunch underfoot. Snap, crackle, pop. Daydreaming as the sun sets over green gold hills. Let's write a poem to celebrate the day. Winter in Michigan is smelling the smoke from a wood fire on a snowy afternoon. Look, the trees have lost their leaves. Crunching through snow during a walk in the moonlight, let's look for pine cones near the trees. Who is that hiding up in the tree? Staying up late to watch lights dance across the night sky. Count the rainbow colors. Let's start the year over and do it all again. There's some nature craft activities. Until next time, take care, happy reading, sweet dreams. Nani loves you, Kalani, and all the rest of you, God's beautiful children.